Kia ora, and welcome to the Beer Jerk Advent Calendar Drink Along. This is day 7 and we're drinking Wilderness Polot Mave Pilsner, I think.
Ellis for lager.
Yes. I'm Joe.
And I'm Luke. And we may have just been looking up how to pronounce Polot Mave. So for all of you Czech people watching, apologies if we're mangling it. But we're pretty excited about drinking this lager. This came about from, Ollie famously makes really fantastic beers at Wilderness, which is in Canterbury. Those guys are just north of Christchurch, small family business. They're really known for their wild ferment beers, their barrel aged stuff.
Yeah.
But also kind of everything. So when we were putting together the list of who we'd love to include in our premium advent calendar, Wilderness and Ollie were right up there. And yes, you sent them an email asking if you'd have anything suitable, right?
Yeah, because cheers.
Cheers.
Obviously, we have pretty much all of his bottled barrel-aged releases here at the Fridge and Flagon. So I was wondering if he had something upcoming that maybe hadn't released or something in can. And he said, oh, what do you want? I don't have enough of anything right now, but I have time to brew something.
We love that question.
Yeah, that's a fun question because it gives us an excuse to sit and talk about unproductive beer styles for an hour or so. So we sent Ollie a little list. Number 1 being Polot Mave Pilsner, something I drank quite a bit when I was in the UK.
Yeah.
And yeah, it sort of says what it is here. I think that translates to half dark or semi-dark.
Yeah, because Tmave, you have the Tmave Pivo, so that's the Czech dark lager. So we've had a great example from Three Sisters, we've had it on tap here recently. So presumably Tmave means dark, so Polot Mave
so, yeah.
would mean half dark.
Yeah, so when we sent that list through and Ollie sent an email straight back saying, yep, that sounds amazing, I'll get onto it. And then, sort of followed up a few days later and the beer was conditioning, so yeah.
Underway, yeah.
And it's just so good drinking this kind of beer any time of the year, really. Just that sort of lovely burnt toffee character, nice and crisp still.
Yes, I haven't knowingly had a Polot Mave before. And when I've been to the Czech Republic, I've drank lots of lager, lots of dark lager, lots of light lager. But yeah, as I say, not knowingly had a Polot Mave. So, which is why I was really excited when Ollie said he fancied brewing one. And I should say, this beer is completely exclusive. Ollie just messaged me before to say that we've got all of the beer, apart from one single can that he kept for himself. So, cheers, Ollie, if you're drinking along with us at the moment. It's tasting fantastic. And that's the really awesome thing about working with these small independent breweries around New Zealand that don't put beer into supermarkets, they just look after small markets. As I had a bit of a rant about the other day that aren't independent retailers. If you want to buy craft beer in our country, you buy it at the supermarket or at a Liquorland chain. Unfortunately, people like Beer Jerk are extremely few and far in between. So it's really cool to be working with people like Wilderness that are also championing the good cause of doing just interesting, exciting stuff. So yeah, it's a half dark lager, as we've said a few times, and it's quite an historic beer style. When you're in traditional Czech pubs, they'll often just have one beer on tap or 2 beers on tap. And that is the beer that everyone drinks. It's not like coming to a craft beer bar like here where there's constantly rotating lots of different things. These are beers that just get absolutely perfected. They're designed for drinkability, that you can drink a lot of them, which this beer I can drink a lot of.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this.
And he made it in a very traditional way. So it is 100% Gladfield malt. And it is a triple decoction mash, which for the brewers watching this will know that it's a big flex. Not every brewery is able to do a decoction mash. Really broadly, I won't get too deep into it, but it's that's an historic way of mashing beer, where originally it would have been done because we've had a smaller mash tun, and also you wouldn't have had consistency with your malt. So you'd have heated and malted and mashed in your malted barley in different batches to keep a kind of evenness. But part of that process means that you get a bit of, you get some of the Maillard process, which comes from the way that this is malted, to get that lovely sort of biscuity flavour, just that sort of like brown bread character. You get the Maillard process when you're roasting meats. And it's a way to get real character and body into your beer, just with the process. And it's kind of inefficient. As I say, most breweries are just not set up to do a decoction mash. And it takes ages. So yeah, I reckon it has a huge effect on the resultant beer. I've definitely spoken to a lot of brewers that have just said it's not worth the effort, not worth the hassle. They can just add a little bit of crystal malt in there, they can just add some biscuit malt, they can sort of replicate it with the recipe rather than the actual technique. But yeah, I reckon I can taste the difference in a decoction mash.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, and yeah, a really great beer, hey?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm loving the Saaz hops in there.
Yes, and that's what keeps you coming back for more. Just that, European noble hop, the Saaz, gives you a bit of bitterness, and yeah, not huge aromatic flavour. All the aroma is from the malts, but just that bitterness, it just keeps you, this can's gone down very quickly. I think we're going to have to crack another one after this. It is, doing exactly what it's designed for. And lagered for an extended period. It's a real clean yeast profile to it.
Yeah, lovely sort of just crisp finish.
Yeah.
Not super bready, like the sort of more German style lager can be.
Yeah.
Thinking some of the ones we've had.
It's just balance.
Yeah.
It's just all about, just such a beer. And I've said drinkable like 5 times already. But it's just, a really satisfying beer for Christmas time. Ollie and Wilderness, as we said, I think known by a lot of us geeks for the barrel aged stuff, the wild ferment stuff, but he clearly is a guy that just is into everything. His hoppy beers are fantastic, lagers demonstrably are amazing. He just let me know that he's doing some really interesting things with freshly pressed grape skins at the moment, which is kind of exciting. And he said to let you know that there's a lot of barrel aged stuff to expect in 2024.
Awesome.
So hopefully we'll be getting a few more of those.
Yeah. Fridge staying stocked up here.
Yeah, and if we can get a cheeky keg here and there. And it's so cool to be sharing beer from Wilderness and from some of the smaller brewers around the country. That's a really cool thing about what we do with this Advent calendar. We've got people drinking in every corner of New Zealand and trying these beers that they may not have had before. Trying beer from breweries that they may not have had a chance to try before. You definitely can get a good bit of Wilderness around Christchurch. But I certainly never see it around Auckland apart from right here.
Yeah, it's often it's one keg gets made, and if we're lucky enough to get it, then it comes up here. Otherwise, it stays down there, and then the rest kind of follows in bottles a month or two later.
Yeah. Fantastic beer.
Yeah.
I've kind of cheered you because you finished your glass.
I have.
Hey, thanks for joining us again for another day of the Advent calendar. We will see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Cheers.